Hi, I'm Dave Mulligan. My job allows me to travel all over the world. I've seen some amazing sights and visited some wonderful cities. Today, we're going to turn our attention north to Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada to be exact. Come on, let's get started. You're going to love this, I promise. In the next half hour, we'll tell you about some of the incredible adventures awaiting you when you visit this city with our special guest, Simon Ratcliffe, a passionate Vancouver local who knows the city intimately. He'll help us plan the perfect Vancouver vacation. Plus, later in the show, we'll tell you about an awesome offer commemorating the city's 125th birthday to anyone booking a Vancouver getaway and how to get it. You know something? People that travel a lot tend to use really syrupy, sappy language when they describe where they've been. Phrases like, "it was magical." But I find that people that visit Vancouver, they can easily sum it up with one simple word: cool. The city's neighborhoods invite visitors and locals to stroll colorful sidewalks and savor spectacular settings. It is an urban hotspot in the midst of great outdoor adventures because of its close proximity to mountains, ocean, beaches, and lush forest. These elements combined have played a huge part in Vancouver's unique and diverse history. The area appealed to explorers throughout the years, enticing adventurers from across the globe to settle here. But it wasn't until 1858 when the Fraser Gold Rush brought over 25,000 men to nearby New Westminster on the Fraser River that ultimately led to the settlement of Vancouver in 1886. The enclaves that make up Vancouver's neighborhoods can be traced back in history and highlight the roles they played in making this city what it is today. And 125 years later, Vancouver has grown into a bustling metropolis, known for its celebration of diversity and community, as exemplified by the variety, frequency, and popularity of its many festivals throughout the year. They celebrate music and the arts, food, wine, and of course, sport. Vancouver really garnered the international spotlight as host to the 2010 Olympic Winter Games. It was the perfect showcase for the city to open their doors to the world and prove that they really know how to throw a party. And the party continues as the city embarks on a year-long celebration marking their 125th birthday. Vancouver really has a lot to offer a diverse crowd. The locals are friendly and love to share their city with visitors. One thing most locals will tell you, you can't miss a visit to the Capilano Suspension Bridge. It's been a must-see for over 122 years. That's almost as long as the city's been around. The suspension bridge is quite simply thrilling, coming in at 230 feet high and 450 feet long. It's an exhilarating adventure that boasts spectacular views. There's even more to see once you've crossed the bridge. Treetops Adventure is 7 suspension bridges, some reaching as high as 100 feet, that take you high above the forest floor for a close encounter with the heart of the forest. The newest attraction, the Cliff Walk, is a narrow cliffside journey on a series of unobtrusive, cantilevered, and suspended walkways jutting out from the granite cliff face above the Capilano River. In some sections, glass is all that separates guests from the canyon far below. I invited Simon to join me at Cavallo Point in beautiful Northern California, in an idyllic location on the San Francisco Bay at the foot of the Golden Gate Bridge. So welcome, Simon.
Thank you.
Vancouver is really an incredible oasis, is it not?
It is indeed. I just love it there.
Simon, tell us a bit about the geography of Vancouver and why it's so desirable for visitors.
It's interesting because it's a really, it's a sophisticated urban city, but it's right in the middle of sort of rugged wilderness.
It's as beautiful a city as I've ever seen, and you are basically an ambassador. That's why you're here. Tell us about your Vancouver. What does it mean to you?
My Vancouver. It is sitting right on the edge of the Pacific Ocean, not unlike San Francisco here. It's a Pacific gateway. So right on the edge of the ocean, We've got a very beautiful climate. Year-round outdoor activities are available to anyone that wants them. You can golf year-round if you're a golfer. You could kayak, as I like to kayak. Pretty much anything that you can do outside, rock climbing, mountain biking, doesn't matter what it is, Vancouver is the place to do it.
What about festivals? What I love about festivals is the root word is festive. And people plan their trips around these festivals. Talk about some of the big ones in and around Vancouver.
There are many, many good, great, fantastic festivals. One of my favorites is the Celebration of Light, which is a competition. Countries come in and they prepare the most incredible firework displays. You can imagine this, beautiful mountains as a backdrop, the ocean, the reflection of these fireworks.
Maybe drink a little wine.
Yeah, great segue. Wine festival. Cherry Blossom Festival in the spring.
Nice.
Push Festival in January. This is a festival where they introduce new acts. It's a performing arts festival. There's a Pride Festival, which has become mainstream in Vancouver. It's the largest parade in Vancouver. So, yeah, you could definitely plan your vacation around a festival in Vancouver, that is for sure.
When we come back, we're going to take a tour that's a little bit of surf and a little bit of turf.
Discover Vancouver Coast and Mountains is brought to you in part by Tours.com.
Hey, welcome back. Now earlier we told you about the Capilano Suspension Bridge, which is the perfect day trip for the adventurous nature enthusiast. Now, when you get your feet planted firmly back on the ground, you have to check out the jewel of Vancouver, Stanley Park. Since 1888, this urban park remains a wonderful evergreen sanctuary of over 1,000 acres, offering a natural oasis to downtown Vancouver. The park has grown as a major city attraction with its spectacular old-growth forest, beaches, trails, and its well-known seawall, a paved waterfront walkway that loops around the park. Stanley Park is a year-round playground where people of all ages come to walk, jog, skate, and cycle, or simply to enjoy the cultural events throughout the park. But these natural pleasures are not all there is to see here. Stanley Park is home to two fantastic attractions, the Stanley Park Horse-Drawn Tours and Canada's largest aquarium. You will experience over 70,000 captivating creatures. Enjoy dolphin and beluga whale shows, sea otter feeds, shark dives, and the free-roaming animals found in the popular Amazon Gallery. Or immerse yourself in the 4D Experience Theater, which combines the high-definition excitement of a 3D film with thrilling sensory effects. Now, another absolute must on your to-do list in Vancouver are the horse-drawn carriage tours through Stanley Park. Now, they're an hour long, they're fully narrated, and these are the only tours that start and end right in the park. On your fun and relaxing ride, you'll see the world-famous totem poles, learn about local landmarks such as the Girl in a Wetsuit statue, and hear about local legends like that of Dead Man's Island. These gentle giants pulling the handmade carriages are all draft horses, bred to be large and strong to carry medieval knights into battle. The stable includes Clydesdales, Belgians, Percherons, and Shires, and meeting these beautiful animals is sure to thrill everyone in the family. Horse-drawn carriage rides have been a tradition in Stanley Park since the park was designated over a century ago, and it is still the best way to explore this luscious green gem in the middle of the city. One of the best parts of a trip to Vancouver is how every day can bring a new adventure. One day you're suspended in air, and the next you're being shuttled around by a majestic beast. But it doesn't end there. How about a panoramic view of the city skyline, the surrounding coastal mountain range, and many of the area's most famous landmarks, courtesy of Harbor Cruises? Celebrating their 100th birthday this year, Vancouver's leading boat sightseeing company offers a sunset dinner cruise and the only scheduled luncheon cruise through a magnificent coastal mountain fjord. A truly unique Canadian experience. Simon, literally, every time I open a magazine these days, it seems that Vancouver has won another award. Now, why is it specifically that they're at the top of almost every best of list?
You know, I've thought about this long and hard, and the only thing that I can come up with, and I think this is genuinely what it is, I think it's the people. You know, I love Vancouver and I love the look of it. Yeah, we've talked about it being a jewel of a city and wonderful architecture and beautiful parks and all of this wonderful stuff. But it's really the people behind those things, the passion of those people, that's made Vancouver what it is. So that's going to be my answer. I think it's the people.
Now, for most travelers, dining is a huge part of the trip. And my wife and I, we'll go out, we'll dine, we'll have a bottle of wine, and then when we're done with our meal, we'll walk out of the restaurant, we'll turn left or turn right. Where are we going? Paint a picture of an evening after dinner.
Absolutely, but it depends on which area of the city that you're in. We have some really cool areas, Gastown, Yaletown, Granville Street District, and depending on where you are, so that's going to depend on what you're going to see, but there are fantastic clubs. Vancouver has an amazing, rich, diverse music culture. I mean, we got some big names come out of it. There are incredible blues bars, jazz bars. There's a huge, diverse range of clubs and music, and you could go to live theater. You could go to a Broadway show. We've got some fantastic events in Vancouver. You could go to a Canucks game, Major League Sport, football, soccer. It's just, it's kind of endless.
What about nightlife?
Beautiful, wonderful city at night. You come in, the lights are on, it's twinkling, you got the mountain backdrop, it's always there. There's all kinds of dance clubs, whether it's salsa, ballroom dancing, disco, it's all there. Still got the ball in the Roxy, I think, and you can go there and have a great time. Great clubs, great nightlife. And all within walking. You land at the airport, you can get on the Canada line, which is a link between the airport and downtown Vancouver. It takes about 20 minutes, and once you're there, as we said, one of the safest cities, you can walk around and, you know, eat your heart out, so to speak.
I talk about the dining, the different array of restaurants.
It is incredible. I've heard it said that there are more restaurants in Vancouver per capita than any other city in the world. I don't know if that's actually true, so don't quote me. But it is true that there are literally thousands and thousands of restaurants in Vancouver, in and around Vancouver, and every ethnic mix that you can imagine. Incredible cuisine. Right on the ocean, the seafood is amazingly fresh, so it doesn't matter how you like your food prepared, whether it's Chinese or Japanese, wonderful sushi, incredible Italian. There's just an amazing array of food and restaurants in Vancouver, absolutely first-class chefs. Whatever takes your fancy, it's there for you.
Thanks, Simon. We've got to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to share with you some other can't-miss sites in and around Vancouver. Hey, welcome back. We've gone over all kinds of things that you just have to include on your must-do list. But sometimes, if you're like me, you just want to immerse yourself in the city. A great place to start your trip is the Vancouver Lookout. This live map of the city has been one of the most iconic and recognizable landmarks since 1977. The observation deck is situated in the heart of the city. Hold on tight as a glass elevator whisks you up 430 feet skyward from street level to the Vancouver Lookout in a mere 40 seconds. Start your day here, get your bearings, then come back in the evening and catch the sunset. Your ticket is valid all day. If art and culture is your thing, the Vancouver Art Gallery is the perfect place for you. Since 1931, the permanent collection has grown to include more than 10,000 works of art, including the largest collection from Emily Carr. Vancouver is also recognized internationally for its contemporary photo-based work, attracting visitors from far reaches of the globe to see the exhibitions of both recent and historic art. Overall, it's an excellent place for experiencing visual culture in the city. After touring the gallery, you can enjoy a glass of wine and have lunch on one of the best rooftop patios downtown at the Gallery Cafe. The Vancouver Art Gallery can be experienced by guests of all ages, with free family programs offered every weekend. Need a little zen in your life? Then a visit to Dr. Sun Yat-sen Classical Chinese Garden should definitely be on your list. Explore the first full-scale classical Chinese garden built outside of China in 400 years using authentic techniques and Chinese craftsmanship. All elements are carefully combined to create the same jaw-dropping landscape as found in the private ancient gardens of China's elite. Make sure to have some complimentary Chinese tea after your tour. All right, Simon, here's a toughie for you. As the most passionate Vancouver local, what is the perfect Vancouver vacation itinerary?
Wow. That would be really, really hard to answer. If you were coming and I knew you, I would be able to design an itinerary for you.
Sure.
But, you know, everybody's different, and so really hard in Vancouver because there's just so much.
Right.
But as a passionate local, the things that I like to do, you know, Vancouver has a great urban feel. We've talked about the ruggedness and the wilderness, but
Sure.
I mean, just going to one of these incredible coffee shops and sitting there and doing some people watching, that's a really fun thing to do. And just walking around the city, you know, smelling the flowers. It depends on what time you come, but there's some beautiful gardens to enjoy.
You got to stop and smell the flowers.
You do, you do.
And to your point, that may be my itinerary, a favorite, but not somebody else. They might want to be up in the mountains the whole time.
And they could do that. I mean, you could have a vacation that was tailored to someone who just loved golf.
Right.
And they wanted to be outside.
Sure.
If they were coming and they wanted to be more family-oriented, then there's those kinds of things as well.
Right, and to that point, now you're talking to me. Anybody who knows me knows that I travel everywhere with my family. I've got a 9-year-old, an 18-year-old son, and my wife. We're all great friends, and we just let loose.
Well, here's what I would suggest you do when you come to Vancouver, and you're coming, right?
Yeah, well, I promise.
All right. When you come, the first thing you should do, go up the Vancouver Lookout. Look down on this city. It's laid out in front of you like a map. Your little one's going to love it. It's standing right there in the city, and it's the TELUS World of Science. They're undergoing a renewal right now, and that's going to double their size. Each season they feature traveling exhibitions, and starting in July, actually July 30th, they're going to have an exhibition of extreme dinosaurs, which will be really cool. And your family can also check out their permanent exhibits. They've got life sciences, natural history, and another one on sustainability. And you can even watch a film. They bring it all to life, and they make science really approachable. It really is a great thing for you and your family. You're going to love it.
For all the great things we've talked about to see and do in Vancouver, there may be one glaring fault, if you could call it that. There's way too many things to do in 1 week, so make it a 2-week trip. Beginning with the Burnaby Village Museum and Carousel, travel back in time when you visit this 1920s village setting and experience another era. Stroll down the streets of the village and chat with the period costume characters in the various shops, businesses, and homes. You could even take a ride on the 1912 C.W. Parker Carousel and delight in a piece of history reckoning back to a simpler time in life. The experience is made complete by the fact that the rides are accompanied by music from an old Wurlitzer band organ. Next stop will be the Minter Gardens in Chilliwack, a spectacular show garden that has a uniquely British Columbian feel and highlights color, composition, and texture in its designs. From the peaceful lake garden that greets visitors to the formal garden featuring European layout and design, winding pathways seamlessly connect 12 unique display gardens. Minter Gardens is considered one of the 1001 gardens you must see before you die, and garden experts and garden enthusiasts the world over agree that Minter Gardens is a horticultural gem and a must-see destination. Great additions to the trip itinerary, and they are only a short drive from Vancouver into the mighty Fraser Valley. last but not least, the Hell's Gate Air Tram. Drive the scenic Fraser Canyon with its 7 mountain tunnels through the historic heart of British Columbia and relive the biggest rush on the Gold Rush Trail. A place where no human being should venture, for surely we have encountered the gates of hell, were the words that early explorer Simon Fraser wrote in his journal over 200 years ago to describe this incredible sight. Today, travelers willingly visit this site to witness over 200 million gallons of water per minute, which is twice the volume of Niagara Falls, squeezed through this narrow gorge from the safety of their air tram. We've talked about a lot of stuff, a lot of activities, a lot of places to see. Now, how can people get more information, more specifics?
Well, a great place to go is tourismvancouver.com. You can go there, you can find restaurants and signature attractions and all that kind of great information.
Right.
But I would also encourage people to try out 604pulse.com, which is a new site in Vancouver where you can get information that's happening right now.
Hold that thought. We'll be right back, and we're going to tell you how to get some really good offers, some amazing offers right now when you plan your visit to Vancouver.
Discover Vancouver, Coast and Mountains is sponsored in part by Tours.com.
Ease of access to a vacation spot is essential. I mean, it's a big part of the trip. What's the trip like? You just flew down.
Well, yeah, and I'd like people to fly up. It's kind of the reverse, and it's really easy. 2 hours. You're on a plane, you're in Vancouver. Now, you could go by train, you could drive. Might take you a little while to do that.
Sure, that's
I would definitely think about the plane. And Vancouver is a stunning airport. You could get a car or a cab into Vancouver, or you could pick up the Canada Line train into Vancouver in 20 minutes, and you're in this beautiful city, and we will welcome you.
Now, we promised our viewers an offer, and I understand it's tied in with the birthday that you just celebrated
yes.
in Vancouver.
Absolutely, yes. Vancouver just celebrated 125 years. She's not that old, but it's significant. To commemorate the birthday, there's a beautiful $125 Vancouver Activities gift card. To qualify for this, you must book 2 nights stay at tourismvancouver.com/125. You can spend this card at the Tourism Vancouver Information Center on literally anything that they sell at that center. So this might be a feature attraction, it could be transport tickets, it could be a sports activity, literally anything, $125. Hotels, 31 participating hotels. So it really is a good offer, and I would encourage people to take advantage of it.
$125, that's a lot of money. And see, it's, I guess, a Canadian custom. Down here, we give gifts when it's someone's birthday. Up in Canada, we're coming up there, and you're giving us a gift for visiting.
We're just sending money.
To find the participating hotels, signature attractions, and other great activities, including sporting events, theater, festivals, tours, and more, visit tourismvancouver.com/125, your only source for this amazing offer. Thanks, Simon, for visiting with us and sharing the wonders of Vancouver, British Columbia. Now, you at home, you can start planning your vacations right now. We'll see you next time.